Companies are announcing stock splits in the last year, especially in the third quarter of the financial year, that is 2024-2025. Let's learn more about stock splits. What is a stock split and why do companies announce a stock split is the crux of this video. I'm your learning partner Sushila Harrier, and if you're interested in a career in investment banking, global markets and hedge funds, do subscribe to my YouTube channel where we provide content-centric, research-focused videos on topics related to anything to do with capital markets, equities and foreign exchange. What is a stock split? First, let's understand the concept of a company's stock and the value of that stock, or rather the price of that stock. A company's stock is priced at what is called as the par value. In some markets, this is called as the face value, and in other markets, it is called as the nominal value. Most companies will announce that the stock has a par value of $1 or 10 rupees, or in whichever currency you want in your own country. This is not the intrinsic value of the stock. This is just a nominal value of the stock. Is this the price at which the stock was issued to the investors? No. Was this the stock? Is this the price at which the stock was issued at the time of the IPO? No, the IPO price could be much higher than the par value. It could also be sometimes lower than the par value. Is it the market price? No. So then what is this price? The par value denotes a nominal value attached or ascribed to the tradable section of a stock. So therefore, every stock has got a par value. In some countries, it could be $10, $1, etc. In some countries, it is 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, as it is in the Indian markets. When a company announces its stocks in the terms of IPO issuances, it will always mention the price at which it is being announced. At the price at which it is being sold, it will also announce the par value and the premium that is attached to the par value. So the par value gains significance because the premium that is attached for accounting purposes to the price of the share describes the value of the share, but otherwise has got no definite aspect to the structure of the share. Sometimes companies thus have reached stock prices have reached very high levels. Let's say, for example, a company like Google or a company like Meta, whose share prices were issued at times when they were not so widely accepted in the consumer marketplace nor in the investor marketplace. So what happens then? We often find that the price at which it was issued would have been much lesser, and the company has used this capital to buy out other companies, and they have grown very, very well. And thus, the price of the share also has increased magnificently in that period itself. So when new investors want to buy the share, they find that the price is very high. For example, as an investor, I might be looking to allocate $5,000 amongst 5 different companies than just paying for a single stock, right? So every investor has their own mindset with regards to at what price they would like to buy a particular stock on, and this affects the liquidity of the stock. What is liquidity of the stock? Liquidity of the stock is nothing but the volume of trades that take place in the stock in the secondary market or on the stock exchange. So more volume of trades take place, the higher is the liquidity. An illiquid stock is considered as one which does not have that kind of liquidity. A company whose share price is traded at $5,000 therefore finds fewer investors interested in buying into the stock. What can the company do? The company can split the stock. So a stock split is a corporate action that is announced by the company wherein the par value of the stock is reduced. So if it was issued at $10 par value, the new stock replaces the old stock, and it is the new stock par value is, let's say, $5. I'm just giving hypothetical examples over here. So this is a case wherein, because the company wants to increase the liquidity of its stock in the market, make higher volumes. If there are higher volumes, it comes in the radar of many of the investors compared to an illiquid stock. The company announces a stock split, and because of the stock split, the par value of the stock is reduced. If the par value of the stock is reduced, then the number of shares held will therefore increase accordingly. So for example, I just gave an example where the par value is reduced from $10 to $5. Therefore, the number of shares that have been issued by the company at $10 will now stand at double at $5. So if an investor is holding 100,000 shares at $10 each, they will now get at $5 double the number of shares. So if the price has been halved, if the par value has been halved, then the number of shares that have been issued by the company will double. Net in net, the market price will correct this oversupply. Okay, the market price of the stock cannot remain stagnant. It will correct the oversupply, because earlier there was just 100,000 shares, let's say for example, and now because the par value has been split into half, the number of shares has doubled, and because the number of shares have doubled, the supply will be higher. When the supply is higher, the price will automatically correct itself. So when is the supply higher? The supply will be higher on the record date. On the record date, the investors will get credits of the new stock at the lower par value, but therefore they'll get more stock. And then when the record date happens, the investors get the new stock, they get more shares at a lower par value. The market price will correct itself on the record date. The X date on the record date in the Indian context is T+1, is the same in many advanced countries in the world, including the US markets. Very few markets today follow a T+2 rolling market cycle. It's T+1 in most developed markets of the world. So have you understood that the concept of what happens in a stock split? So in a stock split, on the X date, the number of shares, or on the record date, the number of shares has increased, the price has reduced, the market capitalization of the stock remains the same. So if you've got a share which is announced a stock split, don't be surprised if the price has crashed by half. Don't think it's so bad news. I mean, sometimes it does tend to be bad news in the way the markets have been falling in the recent past. You might think, oh no, this is not really good news. But the truth of the matter is, the stock has split, the number of shares have increased, the price will decrease. So corporate action stock split is perhaps, literally the last year, 2024, has seen the highest number of stock splits in markets like India, where there has been an attempt made to increase the liquidity and the visibility and the market turnover of a particular company's stock, and therefore stock splits are announced. How is the ratio entitlement announced? The ratio entitlement just says that if you've had earlier shares at $10, it will now be replaced by shares of $5. That's it. Okay, and then you work around the ratio, and of course this is just a mathematical calculation that is needed, which is taught to you in grade 5, which tells you how you can calculate the number of shares from the reduction in the par value. There is absolutely no monetary impact on the market capitalization on the X date only. After that, the new stock finds its own way, finds its own price, demand and supply of the stock then influence what would be called as the market price of the stock. Thank you so much for listening in. If you like the video, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this a thumbs up.